USTAFSON.
All right, Adam, thank you so much. Well, they went to the South Carolina State House as senators, but now they are also known as the Sisters, after they put party politics aside in order to work against efforts in the legislature to pass a near total ban on abortion in South Carolina.
Their efforts earned all five, Sandy Senn, Katrina Shealy, Mia McLeod, Penry Gustafson, and Margie Bright Matthews, the honor of receiving the prestigious John F. Kennedy Profile and Courage Award.
Tonight, 3 of the senators are joining us live in studio, and we also have a senator joining us via Zoom to talk about their bond, to talk about the political and personal impact of their alliance and the distinction of now being known as JFK Courage Profile Award winners. Ladies, thank you all so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
it's an honor to be here.
It is.
Well, listen, we are delighted to have you. I also have to welcome Senator Sandy Senn, who's joining us virtually. We'll check in with her in just a moment. Senator Shealy, I'd like to start with you because it is not often in politics, and particularly in South Carolina, that we see Democrats, Republicans, and an independent all working together to achieve a common goal. Talk to us about how this alliance was formed and why it was so important to all 5 of you.
Well, I think that in South Carolina, in politics, as women, we already had a bond because there's so few women in politics in South Carolina. And in the Senate, there are only 5 of us. And, we came in, just a little bit at a time. We just took us in 1, 2 more, so we all already had a bond, but we work on issues that matter to women and children and families. And when this issue of abortion came up, it was just a natural fit for the women to work on that together because for so long we had heard the men talking about it and we had listened to it over and over and over again. And it was time for the women to step up and say how we really felt, especially when it got down to the point where they were wanting a total ban on abortion and for women not to have any say-so in what was happening with their bodies and their lives. And it was time for us to stand up and say that it's time for the legislature to get out of the women's lives in their bedroom and their doctor's offices.
Yeah, and certainly as the legislation was finalized in many different ways, you leave with a feeling that there may be other issues out there that you can come together with when it comes to maybe working across party lines?
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we already do. There are other issues that we work well together on, in addition to abortion. And I think we can all agree that the reasons that we came together are so much bigger than abortion. Women deserve the right to make our own reproductive health care decisions. And it's just, it really gives South Carolinians a snapshot of some of the rights and freedoms that are constantly, being taken away from us. And so it was no surprise to me that we came together on this issue and, as I said, others as well.
Senator Gustafson, you and Senator Shealy both took on and knocked out popular incumbents to win your seats. So talk a little bit about the political blowback from all of this. I mean, all of this kind of came together on the outside looking in, seemed like a very unexpected way. But you all were determined once you were unified and decided to take this on. But even from with your own party, there was a lot of pressure that you all had to face as you took a stand on this issue at the State House.
Oh, absolutely. I will say that none of us really expected this. We were going day by day, hour by hour sometimes, lots of phone calls, lots of text messages and discussions on the floor, off the floor, with our colleagues, without our colleagues, and it just turned out that we worked together very well and we had some commonalities there, and we just collaborated on those commonalities. I think no matter where you stand on this issue, there's going to be blowback somewhere, especially in South Carolina. But we got to realize 51% of our state, we're women, 51%. And with only 5 women in the Senate, that's a very small margin. So we had a big job to do. And I think we were all very committed to trying to do the best and right thing for our mothers, for women,
Yes.
for families.
Yes.
And I think if you focus too much on polling, focus too much on what other people think or what they perceive of what's happening, because a lot of times the public doesn't really know all the details of the legislation and the process. So if we can focus on where we need to put our focus, we can work better and work in the future for hard subjects like this.
Absolutely.
We kind of went through fire here this year. There was a lot of blowback, and I just would like to share with people of South Carolina, the people who are not happy with us and and don't agree necessarily with my votes. I still respect them, and I will still always listen. And I think that's one of the most important messages this year is that we are listening to each other, we're
Yes.
listening to our people, and that will never stop whether you agree with me or not.
Well, I so appreciate you saying that, because it's also worth pointing out to South Carolinians and everybody who has watched your leadership here in South Carolina that the 5 of you don't agree in lockstep on this issue, but you
Yeah.
work together
Yeah.
in a common goal. And so to be able to work together despite your differences
Yeah, but it
Right.
wasn't a
on
big
this
plan.
issue.
This
No,
is the
I
thing.
know. That's
We
what I'm saying. It just came
It
together.
really did, just kind of.
We want to
Yeah.
bring Senator Sin in because she's joining us virtually.
Yeah, so Senator Sen, talk about how this coalition was galvanized in some way. I'm certain as the fight continued, as the legislation started to work its way through, were there alliances
Can't hear
formed
y'all.
and personally outside or maybe even behind closed doors that you realize, hey, we may not see eye to eye, but we kind of get along here and we have this common bond that we're developing here?
No
I think she
audio.
said she couldn't hear.
Oh my goodness, we'll try and get that worked out. Why don't we do this? We'll take a short break and we can hear her okay. So
Right.
if our producer Justin can let her know, we can hear her just fine, and we'll try to make sure that she can hear our audio as well. But when we come back, we want to talk about the Profile and Courage Award, because it was a very special ceremony that put South Carolina in the national spotlight
For a good
5
reason.
women who were profiles in courage
Right.
in many ways. So we'll have more on that on this special edition of WIS Primetime.